Are you still in Florida?
Now we're recording. So here we
Are
go.
you still in Florida, Frank?
I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Sorry, I put you in Florida. Sorry.
Last week I was in Hilton Head, and this week I'm in Charleston, and I go back home to San Francisco tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's very hot here. It's it's only 82 degrees, but it's 78 humidity.
Oh God.
Wow.
So it feels like 90 or more.
Be glad you're not in the Pacific Northwest. We're in the hundreds right now.
Oh no. Oh no.
See, in
Guys
California,
don't
down here
know.
in Bakersfield, what was the highest we got to, Jackie? 111?
I think it was 113.
But we have no moisture in the air.
Oh,
Neither do we, but that's beside
Right
I don't
up.
think we do.
that's still really hot.
I moved from Tracy this last year, you know?
Oh, okay.
I know the heat.
Yeah. Well, they people say, "Oh, Bakersfield, you're from Bakersfield." I've been through Bakersfield. They don't stop. Keep going.
Looking for.
So Frank, I have a question on the measurements.
Okay.
Okay, so when it's
Who's talking?
Sidra,
Oh, Sidra.
yeah. So when you're doing your measurements for the chest, are you measuring for a woman, are you measuring up here or are you measuring across the breast?
No, up here, upper chest, just under the underarms.
Okay,
What you're really wanting to measure is your rib cage, because that will determine your shoulder width as well.
okay,
So if a woman has a larger bust, then you will want to do some sort of bust shaping, possibly doing short rows. And Suzanne's knit along is going to describe exactly how to do that. My
Right.
pattern simply does a straight, as you know, it does a straight body of that width. And so that may not be satisfactory for some of you.
because in
Yeah.
the description, it talks about, taking it above or across the breast. If I
Where?
understood it right.
It does, but I the first time I did it across the full bust, and the shoulders were way too wide.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I did it at the above chest, and it came out perfectly.
Tell me where that's being said.
When
I
you're
wrote
giving the
blog-
measurements,
No, who's
Yes.
talking?
Oh, that
when
was
you're giving
the-
the measurements, it tells you
Yeah,
Oh.
in the description.
yeah.
Oh, I wrote a blog entry about, and let me post the link to this blog entry I did on women's chest measurement. I guess I didn't go back and correct the website after I wrote that.
You're on vacation.
Oh, no, this was a while back. So
Oh,
I need to have these things pointed out to me and then I will hear.
It's so easy to miss a little thing like that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It really is.
Kathy knows.
okay, if you're measuring your upper chest and you actually have a chest, you're saying that, how do we make that larger? Short
you
rows?
You use body shaping of whatever form is the proper
Okay.
thing for you. And
Okay.
for some, that's short rows. That's what I understand. I don't do it. I publish for men. And so that's why the sweater was the way it was. And I didn't even address this issue until women started asking about it. And I don't really know. I've never done it, so I don't know, but I went and read books and they said, oh yes, use short rows, but they never said put them here or how many to put or anything. And
Okay, there's a group on Ravelry called the Bust Line that has a lot of information, links to information if you want to learn more about it.
I see.
The-
Okay.
The Bust Line.
The bust
Okay.
line. Okay.
Oops.
In Suzanne's knit along, that's one of the key things that she's going to address. And she's talking about how to modify this plain sweater pattern to fit anyone and to add patterns of whatever type you want. And that's why I'm so excited. She's going to enhance what you can do with my
Yes.
basic sweater pattern.
She has this
To customize it, yeah, to customize it, because most people who are thin, they can put anything and they'll look good. People who have breast or have a big stomach, you know, or wide hips or something,
Yes,
then you need to do a little something.
That's
And unless
right.
you know where to do it.
I understand. Yeah.
Because I have a daughter, I put a, you know, trash bag over her. She looks wonderful. You know, not her mother. You know.
I do suggest something in the pattern about doing, you know, like if you want to make an A line or even a tapered uh, fit along by doing increases and decreases along the sides. But basically all I say is put 2 markers under the underarms and they will mark where you should do increases or decreases to change the body shape the way you want. But this is ignoring the whole larger breast
Right.
condition situation, and that's a whole different thing. So I don't even
Right.
address that at all.
That was funny. It's not a condition.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
situation, whatever.
No, but the most difficult part, I think, of any sweater is exactly where, you know, you may stop off, you know, from men to women, you know, right close to the underarm.
Yes.
That's why I'm
I wanted
looking
to-
forward. Because I tried, you've heard of the coconut method.
Yes.
It's something similar. She also stops like at the end of the increases,
Yes.
you know, and then you finish however, but she has a little something in the back before.
That's right.
Mhm.
I studied her pattern and it appears that she also doesn't address the bell-shaped sleeve cap. And
No.
that was the heart of what I thought was my main contribution.
Oh,
When I first figured out how to do that, that was like, oh, here's what I'm going to contribute to the knitting community. And then I built this website around that idea. And then people got excited about having a custom fit sweater. So it's like the combination of those two things is what people seem to be drawn to.
yeah.
But actually the calculation that I do to decide where the increases go to create the bell-shaped sleeve, that's actually what I thought was the heart of the issue that I was addressing with this.
Mhm.
Can I ask a technical question? This is Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
When you are down to the part where you are ready to do the sleeve cap, and you go around, and first you're doing an SSK and knit 2 together, and I assume that just makes it easier to create that shaping when you're changing from well, I mean, it's just one little decrease all the way around on the side there, on the body side. And
I'm sorry, where are you talking about?
right before you start the sleeve cap, or at the sleeve cap,
Oh,
and
yes.
you have that little decrease. And I wondered why. I mean, I can see it, but I don't know what would happen if I didn't put that decrease in there.
Originally, I didn't have it, and I showed this pattern to Suzanne, and she was one of the first people to see this pattern. And she said, if you put a decrease right there, it will remove this little bump that occurs on both sides.
That's what I
So
thought.
it
That was
flattens that out. And
Mhm.
then if you notice on like the next row, I do an increase, or
Right.
she said, do a decrease there and do an increase just shortly after that, and it will all work. So that's when the pattern changed to have that extra decrease.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought that's exactly what you were doing, but I just wanted to make sure. And then so on that next row, when you're increasing, I was wondering why when you're actually doing a purl one, right? And then you're coming back around and you're doing a knit on the other side, why not just do 2 increases on the knit side every time.
You're talking about on the V-neck sweater, right?
You're talking about the sleeve cap?
It might be the V-neck or it might be the sleeve cap. I've forgotten.
Because I was just right at that point where I've done the first increase where you do the purl one right,
Mhm.
and then you knit around, and then when you get to the other side, you turn it, and then you knit and do a make one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and the other
what,
direction before you continue on around.
yeah, so that's what it is. It's the V-neck there. And
You're-
I thought, well, why don't I just do my alternating increases as I'm going down the sweater?
But
Maybe it looks better.
don't remember why I did that, though I'm thinking I want them to be on the same row, not on alternating rows, but I don't really know if that's why I did it.
in saddle shoulder, exactly is the point. When you start the sleeve cap, I don't have any decrease. I was now a little bit surprised because here I have any decrease, or but here I have increase on the purl row and increase on the next row on the knit row, and you need to do purl to the right and to the left. And so I made a mistake in the beginning because I turned it on the other way, so it's why I need to restart. But I don't have any decrease in the saddle shoulder, but maybe in the other construction they have. I don't know.
Do you have that sweater number yet?
Yes, I send you an email. Is it 510?
Okay.
It's 510.
510. Let me take a quick look at her pattern and
Yeah.
see what she's describing here.
It's on the page. In this printer doesn't go, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a page 5 when it's start sleeve cap and join back and on the.
Your sweater is for Ariane?
Yep.
Okay, I've got the right pattern. Now, what's the title of the section that you're discussing?
Start sleeve cap and join back of the neck.
Okay, and it says
The second paragraph.
purl to 1 stitch before the first marker. Make 1 left purl, purl 1, slip marker, purl 1, make 1 right purl. Purl to 1 stitch before next marker. You make 1 stitch on each side of the marker again, and then purl to end. I don't even understand that. Oh, right. We haven't closed off the back yet, have we? Or have we? No, we haven't closed off the back. So you had 53 stitches on each shoulder. You do 4 make ones. You now have 57 stitches on each shoulder.
Yes.
And then we cast on 32 stitches, and we do 4 more increases on each shoulder. So that's 8 plus 32 is 40 plus 57 gives us, oh, it doesn't have a total, 97. Or, oh, I don't know. I didn't do it right. What number are you saying is you did not get right?
Yeah, because then I need to increase again, and the next row of knitting I need to increase again, and then when I start to increase then you say neck front shaping and upper body, we increase again on the.
It says work the following 0 times. Do you see that? I don't know why it says that, but if it says work it 0 times, you don't do those next 3 rows.
Oh, I have not here. Oh.
That's what I see. Neck front shaping and upper body. The next line says work the following 0 times. That's a a bug in the program, I should just leave those instructions out.
I have here, work the following ending at the right front shoulder marker. And I need to knit this time. And then you say, work the following 2 times, that to increase the cast on both sides. I have no 0.
It says no, it says something. Whoa, huh. Look at the bottom of the page and tell me which revision you are using.
The neck front shaping and upper body.
No, go to the very bottom
Hmm.
and you see the copyright line, and then the next line says revision.
This is the first, the last page says.
Very bottom of the last page.
I didn't print, okay, I didn't print the last one. This is already in the beginning when I print,
Oh.
and the paper was over in the printer and block. The revision was S125-03-14-21.
Oh, you have an older version, that's why we have
Oh.
different text.
Oh, okay. It's why
I'm
I have
so
confused it with
sorry.
this.
Well, this is a bug. I'm afraid you have helped me find a bug in the program. So I need to
good.
fix that.
That's good.
And so I'll keep that in mind and we will work on that. But I'm sorry, that means you have,
To restart.
I wouldn't restart. I would go back to that point. How far back are you? Very far back?
It's okay, I don't mind, because I restart this one, the last one. This is the 3rd time that I do.
know you keep restarting and I just hate this.
Yes,
Having to restart.
because my calculations were wrong, and I restart, and I said, oh, okay. Sometimes I don't count well, and I forgot to increase, and so I said, okay, I restart, and I restart again, and said, no, okay, now, okay. So you have already new version there?
Yes, the current version is S1.30, 6/13/21.
Okay.
By the way, that is an American style date. It's June 13th, 21. Was
okay, yeah,
published.
because what I have here is 25, yeah, and 0314, yeah, is completely different date, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your patterns are not updated automatically.
Not if you printed them. I can't update your printing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
unfortunately, they are updated. And if you have started a pattern, I do have you print them because supposedly each pattern is supposed to work.
Mhm.
But Fatima apparently got a pattern that isn't quite right for the
I
saddle.
print because I don't want to be in front of the computer all the time, and if I go somewhere, I take with me.
Well, not only that, if I change the program and the pattern slightly changes and you've done part of the sleeve cap and then the rest changes, it's not going to come out right. So
Yeah.
I really recommend everybody print the pattern or save the PDF on their computer and use one pattern from start to end.
So
Yeah.
do you provide a warning when you made changes? So
When I realize I have made a change that is incompatible like that, I do put a warning in the notes at the top of the pattern that you see, not after it's printed, but there's a box that's not printed that you see online.
okay.
That's where I put a warning, and I usually put it in red if it's a really incompatible change. The changes are not happening very fast anymore. It's usually several months in between, and it's usually very minor. But apparently something a little more major changed here.
So I was telling you during the during the live stream that there's another issue that I found that when I put the short sleeve length for my daughter's sweater, it was 3/4 sleeve. I put 9 inches for the armpit to the wrist because it's gonna be 3/4 sleeve. And it changed that 9 inches to 17. I said, no, I must have done something wrong. So I put the numbers in again and it did it again.
You put in 9 inches and it changed it to 17?
Yeah, when it showed the
Yes, you did mention that. That's what is your pattern number? Let me look at that.
I have no idea. I didn't finish it,
Have you
so
printed it out? Do you have a print?
no, no. I was mostly trying to see if I have enough yarn of the type that I was looking at.
Oh, did you not purchase it?
Well, I only, oh, no, not the pattern, no. So I
You did
don't
not
think-
purchase it? Okay. So you don't know the pattern number. Do you know the title of the pattern that you gave it? I can find it that way.
Oh, gosh. Can you look under my username?
Yes,
Okay,
and
it's probably Dimitria UY.
Demetria.
Yeah, Dimitra UY.
Oh, because I'm in a hotel, I can't actually do that from here right now. Let me see.
You gotta make lots of notes for when you get home tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, it did work. Let me see if I can do this.
And it's the one I was trying to figure out for Michelle.
Bear with me a minute while I access the database online. Okay, I have Demetria UY.
Yeah, and the one for Michelle.
Dusty pink for Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So I put the 9 inches from underarm to wrist, and then when it shows the schematic, it has a 17. Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Hold on, I can check that. Underarm. Let's see, where is this? Sleeve length. This looks like you've entered 17 as the sleeve
I
length.
did not enter 17. I put underarm to wrist was 9 inches. That's what I'm saying. It changes
I
it.
understand. Well, that's really strange. Let me try something and see.
Try 10. It may need 2 digits, the program.
Did I step in during quiet study time?
He's thinking.
We're all muted,
Yes.
Ron.
Hi, Ron.
I was scared.
I'm restarting. I'm restarting.
Ron, I wanted to ask you a question anyway. This is Carolyn.
Hi,
You made the baby sweater, didn't you?
I did.
I am in progress on that, and it seems like the sleeves are going to be awfully long. And normally a baby's arms are proportionally shorter than an older child or an adult. So I was just wondering, did you do that 14 rows 3 times and then add the cuff?
With the sweater pattern that Frank put in the measurements for the child, when I made mine, I made it short sleeved anyway.
Oh, okay.
Because I altered the pattern to design a different kind of top. So mine
I
has
see.
short sleeves, but Frank pulled the measurements from a real source.
Well, I
So,
was thinking if it's just a matter of proportions being
Yeah.
smaller to an adult sweater, a
Well,
baby's
and
arms are short. I know that. The baby's arms are not as long compared to its body as an adult is.
but
Like
it's really
a
more of a
pirouette.
toddler sweater, isn't it?
yeah, it's a 3T, not an infant, but it's a.
Well, the sleeves are going to be longer than the sweater itself when it's done. I mean, you
think
know,
that's
the hemline,
typical.
the bottom of the sweater, the sleeves will be a little longer. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think that's typical.
Mhm. Okay.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Frank.
I'm
How's your
back, everyone.
vacation?
Demetria, I don't understand because I just entered 9 inches for the length of a new sweater and it stayed 9 inches.
Interesting. Okay.
Uh,
I'll try again. I don't mind trying again. And if it happens again, I'll let you know.
Okay, let me see if I can. Let me go back to you update the measurements of who the sweater is for.
Mhm.
You have chest circumference, neck circumference, shoulder to waist, and upper arm circumference, and then circumference of arm at wrist, and finally you have underarm to wrist, and that's the one you
Right.
changed to 9.
That's what it changed. Sorry.
You changed it to 9 and it left it 17. I don't know how that could happen.
Can you change it for her now?
Yes, I can actually.
But it could happen to somebody else. He needs to know so he can.
Yeah, let me see if I can change yours. And it's 582.
Frank, while you're doing that, it just,
Yeah.
do you have parameters set that are ranges that measurements should fit between this, like as a minimum or a maximum on the?
Very few. There are some, but that's not one of them. You could say your arms are 6 feet long and it would probably just do it.
Okay. I didn't know if you were, going by clothing standards or anything like that. If you
No,
put a
no,
range in
not at
there.
all.
Okay.
Your gauge, mostly it's the gauge that has to be reasonable. If you put in a gauge where the I don't know, if it's like your row gauge is way different than a normal row gauge to stitch gauge ratio, that would create a problem.
No, I'm usually pretty straight on.
Oh. Apparently, I don't have permission to change that for you. I just tried to do it and it tells me.
That's okay. I'll can I delete it and start over?
I tell you what, can you go online while we're here and go and do it one more time?
Okay, let's try. I'm on my iPad and I'm doing both things on the same computer. So,
Oh, well,
yes. Yeah, as long as you can hear me.
yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
But we can't see you.
It's okay. That's on purpose.
So Franco, this is created automatically, right?
What is?
The pattern,
Well,
once you add all the information, it's automatic.
it's automatic. Yeah, according to a program that I wrote.
Right, yes.
And so I don't know every detail of the program because it's extremely complicated and I forget some things, how it works. But I know that when you enter the sleeve length, it just goes into the database and it's just what it is. There's no alteration of it. So I'm curious as to why that would be happening to her.
Okay, so I have nothing on hem length, cuff length, and ribbon length. Do I need to put something there?
I would put 0 if you mean nothing.
Okay, for now, I just want to know how much yarn I need.
Well, you want to put ribbing length. Wait, no, never mind. You do want it to be the length of the sweater, so you need to put hem length in to make it be the length of the sweater you want, or else it's going to calculate the wrong size sweater for the wrong amount of yarn.
Oh, hem length is the length of the sweater?
No, hem length is, I'm sorry, hem length is added to the shoulder to waist length, and the total is the length of the sweater.
So that, yeah, I don't want to add a bottom thing.
Okay,
I just want to know
if your
about how,
shoulder to waist is the length of the sweater you want, then just put 0 for hem length.
okay, so I have zeros for all 3 of those. I
Okay,
have my needle size 7, stitch count 6, width of counter stitch. I just put 1 and 8 and 1.
and you went back and changed
I didn't change anything.
Michelle's measurements?
How do I do? Oh,
That's where you actually need to make the change.
okay. So
On the page
there are-
you're on, see up on the right side of the page at the top, it says update Michelle's measurements.
yeah, I found it, and then
Click
I
that.
changed the underarm to wrist,
Yes,
and it comes back to this page. I press update
yes,
specifications, and go to checkout. Right? Oh, now it has 9.
yes,
Yay!
yes, I
Okay,
can see it. It's now 9.
Something, yeah, cool.
Well, I'm
Thank you.
glad we
Fran.
worked that out, even though we don't
Yeah,
know why
me
it
too.
didn't work the first 2 times you did it.
I know.
But it's a
weird.
test. It's a test of your software, and it works.
Well, it worked in that case, but then it didn't work in Fatima's case.
Why?
I don't know if you were here when Fatima pointed out a problem with her pattern, and it turns out to be a bug in the program. So I've got something to work on.
But how you could find out like that?
What's that?
Why you found you? Because I had trouble because I didn't think that would be an update there, so I never went back to
Yes,
see
well,
that.
even with the updated one, shouldn't read the way it does. It should not say work this 0 times. I should have a check that says if it's going to do this 0 times, print nothing. See, and so I should not have had that confusing thing in there to begin with. And apparently I was correcting something that should have been corrected before and didn't realize that I could end up with a 0 times. I don't know. But
I'm
anyway.
restart. I go to restart and rip out everything.
I just hate
See
the
that
thing.
occasionally on printed
No,
patterns.
but you know, Franco, I have seen that in other patterns that
too.
are created also automatically with some kind of a formula.
Yes.
You know, it does say, 0 times.
Well, usually.
Yes,
it
well,
doesn't
but
do
I
that
can
in-
eliminate that. That's just a minor programming issue that I
Right,
could have done.
If
I
0
thought to
delete
do it.
sentence, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, Therese, when you've got a pattern that has multiple sizes written into the same pattern. And maybe the tiniest size, you don't do this one step at all, but on the other sizes, you have to.
Oh, yes, there are times like that when you do
Yeah.
multiple fits, or usually it's when I'm generating multiple sizes. I will
Correct.
sometimes say do something 0 times
Yeah.
if other sizes do it more times.
Yeah.
There are
the
times,
first
even
time
if you
I saw
just have
that, I thought
multiple fits,
very, very confusing.
it will do that. Ron, your hand is up, and then Rana has her hand up.
Yeah, just when you mentioned the waist, the shoulder or neck to waist measurement, it made me think of this. Where is the waist for you? Do you mean, I mean, I know it's just the hem plus that waist measurement and equals, and it's in the schematic, but when I'm helping people out generating their patterns, where do you intend to be measuring to? Their fashion, one of the fashion waists, or their,
I intend them to choose a place that they
okay,
find consistent. The whole idea is you might want sweaters of different lengths
yeah,
and your body measurement doesn't change. It's a little confusing. I probably should have just said what length of
come
this
on, go
sweater
ahead.
should it be? But instead I was taking body measurements, and so I measure to my belt.
Yeah,
And I add like 3 inches beyond that I want the sweater to go usually. I suggest that perhaps some women are more tuned to where their waist is than some of us men. I mean, neither of those are
waist is right
absolute
there.
statements. Yeah.
But-
So it's an arbitrary measurement, but it
Yeah.
should be something that you can adjust know where it
I
is
also
every
know
time
this is
and decide
look
how
at the
many inches
schematic.
beyond it you want to go. So
Yeah,
that was the idea.
And of course, with the nature of the construction, once you're at the length you want, stop knitting.
Yeah.
Continue to knit, it will be too long.
Right.
But it's the kind of question you get sometimes. I don't want
Yeah,
official ruling.
Yes, and the pattern, if you're knitting the pattern that has no shaping as I wrote it, you can really stop anywhere and or keep knitting as long as you want. You don't have to knit it 27 inches if you really want it 25 inches.
We'll
So
see how long I
that's
get
the
mine.
least important measure, except for measuring an estimate of the yarn you want to use. So
I
it
just
does come into the yarn estimate.
I just separated my sleeves and I've got 20 more inches to knit, and we'll see.
All right.
It's my own personal tour de France. Well, I'll hand it over to Rana. Thanks, Frank.
You can remove your hand.
I'm doing it.
All right. Now, Rana.
Yes, your current version is June 13th.
Let me
Correct?
see once again, just a minute. Yes, June 13th, 21.
Okay, my pattern is May 16th.
Okay.
How do I know what changes were made?
That's a good question.
Because I just downloaded my pattern again to see if there was anything different from the first time I printed it.
That's
and
a
there
real
is
good
not.
thing to do. Yes. Maybe you should tell me.
If you printed it, I can tell you a secret we used to do in the office. If you print it, put the 2 pages together and look at it with a backlight, and then
There
you can
you
see if there's a difference.
But the pattern that I printed, the original pattern, with the changes from your current version, June 13th, would there be changes if I printed it again?
Ask that again. I didn't quite follow it.
Okay, I printed my pattern on May 13th or 15th.
Yes.
Your current version is June 13th.
Yes.
If I printed it again,
You will get the new version.
will I get? Okay.
You will get the new version, and you can do exactly what someone said, hold it up to the light, and you'll be able to see what changed.
Okay, thank you very much.
And please tell me, because I I used to keep a note of what changed with each one, but I didn't in that case. And I should.
Do you think it would be, excuse me, do you think it would be a good idea to maybe at the top of all patterns to say
What
the
changed? Yeah.
current version is or something?
It says it at the end of the pattern, what version it is. And
But maybe-
online, it says it in the box at the top, but that box doesn't print.
Okay.
But it is printed at the bottom of the last page when you print it.
No, I realize that. That's where I got the information.
Oh, right. So,
Okay.
She's saying if you could print it on every page.
Well, I could. No, I can't. I don't know where the page breaks fall. That's the problem.
True, because of the font size, for one thing.
Yeah, I just don't. You print it and your printer decides where the page breaks go.
Right.
Well, and you've given us that wonderful advantage of choosing the font size that we want.
That's
and
right. That changes it too.
Yeah. But that's a nice feature.
Do you have a
I'm glad
header or
that.
footer option?
What was that?
Do you have a header or footer option? And then it would just automatically
Oh.
put it at wherever it
My-
prints?
Mine has it
I
on every
don't.
page. It's printed on mine every page.
What's printed on yours every page?
Like 1 of 7, and
Wow.
then the
Oh.
date, and I think my printer did that, maybe.
That's a good question. How does that happen?
Footer.
On my stuff, I set a footer or a,
There are two ways to print. Well, no.
Nice.
you're getting a lot of homework, Frank.
I am. I need to start taking more notes. All right. Let's see.
You're going to need to hire an assistant.
You have a recording. You don't need notes. Just watch
Oh,
this
that's
all over again.
Yes.
There you
You're
go.
so smart, Demetria.
You know,
Oh, thank you.
the reason I didn't post the last two actually was I view the entire hour again before I post it to make sure that there's not some egregious error that I'm posting.
Frank, I have a question here. When you say next front shaping and upper body, work the following 0 times, ending at the right front shoulder. These 3 bullets I don't need, right?
Wait a minute, you said it didn't say that, right? Or is that the new version?
It's a new version.
The new
says-
version, you would not do that. You would
Okay,
not do
the
those
3
three.
bullets, the 3 bullets I don't do.
That's
But
right.
then you say work the following 2 times. The three bullets after that I need 2 times.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Because now I already rip out the pattern, it doesn't exist. And, and I delete the page. I have a new printer now already.
It pains me every time you say this.
Fatima, do you have hash marks on the wall so you know how many times you, like I just got a vision of the Tom Hanks on the island, you know, keeping track of things.
Sorry, I couldn't, so, who say? Sorry,
Do you have hash marks on the wall, the tick marks on the wall, keeping track of each version, how many times?
How many times do you take it out?
Yeah, I rip out, and now I go to rip out this one.
Oh, both of
Why are you-
them.
That one is wrong too?
Yeah, it's a different yarn, but the stitch gauge is exactly the same. So I was
Oh,
just,
so we're doing 2 different ones at the same time.
yeah,
Oh dear.
and I need to rip out this one as well. Okay.
Well, wouldn't it be possible just to rip it out back to the round where you picked up stitches or something?
Yes, but the cotton was more difficult, and I decided to, because the stitches are a little bit loose, and I go
Oh.
to make the lace again.
Okay.
This is the easiest part to do, is not the
Yeah,
problem.
that's true. You're just left with the two saddles at that point.
Yeah.
So you're right.
This one,
You're right.
this one is okay. But the lace becomes a little bit too loose and I just rip out everything. It's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're not mad at me.
No, of course not. I learn a lot all the time that I start. Yeah. No, but I was a little bit, because I restart 3 times and said, I made wrong calculations. But sometimes I become distracted and I don't count well and I pass 1 row or so. And yeah. Okay.
We all do that, of course.
Yeah.
I do that as well.
Yeah.
So another.
But if you, before you rip it out again, would you check with me again to see if you found another bug? I really don't think there are that many bugs, but you're doing the saddle shoulder, and I just realized I don't check every version every time I make a change to make sure that a change that works in one, like the crew neck, doesn't mess up the saddle shoulder, and that's probably what happened there.
Okay, I will take more attention now when I do, and I shall report to you.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Frank, this is Carolyn. Did you get a chance to try that interlock bind off?
No, I didn't get a chance to do that yet.
Well,
I finished my sweater this week, and then I didn't bring more yarn on my vacation. I didn't know I would actually finish the sweater.
Oh,
Well, that's a good excuse to go buy more yarn.
Right.
Oh, I did. I actually considered going to a store and doing that. Let me spotlight myself and then show you the sweater.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Nice.
that's
Gorgeous.
Nice.
Oh, look at those tables. Interesting.
So this is for the Cast On magazine?
Yes, this will be published in the next issue of the Cast On magazine.
Nice.
Since you all knit Phrancko sweaters, this one would be very easy to adapt to a size that fits you, because the only difference between this and a plain sweater is that I insert this cable into it, and the increases for the cable are part of the pattern.
Yeah.
And so if you can figure out where to position this on a different sized sweater, you could knit a custom fit sweater using this cable pattern from the pattern. But I have to warn you, it's not an easy cable pattern.
I can understand.
It is, I don't know, it's actually quite difficult. And
Yes, the part there where they meet together, that is different. Yeah, I can understand that. A little complicated.
it was quite complicated to design, and it seems to have worked okay. I think it could have been better if I was better at designing Celtic cables, but it turned out I'm enjoying it. I appreciate it, and then of course it turns into just regular cables as it proceeds down the sweater, but of a complex nature.
I'm not going for cables now. I'm struggling with the cables for the sweater of the level 3 with the cables, and I'm tired of cables at the moment.
One of the things that makes these cables more complicated or more difficult to knit is that there is one line where in this section where it repeats all the way down, there's one place where you do the crossover on every row for 3 rows. And that in between row, you have just done a crossover with 6 threads. You've done a 6 loop crossover. And then on the next row, you do a 2 by 2 crossover of 2 of those. No, it's a 2 by 1. Anyway, on the next row, you do another crossover of the ones you just did. And so they're very tight because they just did
Mhm.
6 crossing over. And then you've got to do something with some of those again on the next row. And if you drop one of those stitches while you're trying to do it, you almost have to go back an entire round and redo the first crossover again. It's just very complicated to pick
Yeah.
up.
Maybe you should put a note there that make those loose so that you can cross them over easier on the
I
next one.
didn't find a good solution to it, frankly. I mean,
Yeah,
We'll find for the next
You know,
one.
I've been
so
raising my
the best
hand.
solution
and
I
I've been
found was a new way to knit these crossovers using a cable stitch, a
Hmm.
cable needle. I do almost all of my cables with no cable needle,
Mhm.
but these that are 6 stitches wide, I started
Many.
using cable needles. And then because they're actually 2, 2, and 2 cables, does everybody understand what that means? There's like 2
Mhm.
knits with 2 purls in between them. 2 knit pairs, 2 purl stitches between them. So you're crossing the 2 knit stitches and making them replace, and the pearls continue up the back in the middle.
Mhm.
So I learned that it was easiest for me to put 4 stitches on the cable needle. I'm going to actually do a video to describe this because I think it helped me. So it might help other people. That's how I decide what videos to do. I put 4 stitches on a cable needle and hold it in back or front, depending on which I want to do. I knit the next 2 stitches. Then I put 2 stitches back on the left cable needle and purl them. And then I put the final 2 stitches, which I could knit off of the cable needle because now they're so tight, the cable needle was not sharp enough, and that's when I kept dropping them. I put them back on the left-hand needle and knit them off of the left-hand needle as well. And so I never knit anything off of the cable needle. I keep putting them back on the other needle, the left needle, and knitting them to the right.
When I make cables like that, what I do is, it's the only time when I would use a third needle. And what I do is I put the 2 middle ones on the other needle and leave it to the back. And I cross the other 2, put everything together, then I knit everything.
Yes. Well, that's actually the way that the Craft Yarn Council suggests this cable be made.
Really? Well, I didn't
Using
read
2
that.
cable needles. And my problem was my cable needle was a wooden one, and I used the smallest wooden one I could find, but had a very rounded tip, and they just kept falling off this rounded tip. So anyway,
I had my
I
hand
found the way
up.
that worked for me.
Question. I had a question about something else. I had my hand up.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Demetria.
No, that's okay. So my question is about amount of yarn to use in your pattern. I see that you are giving it to us as skeins, and I was wondering if you can provide number of meters or yards instead.
If you go back and edit your yarn,
Yeah, I have to put my 1 yard per skein, right?
what you have to do, you have to do that. Remove the number of yards on your skein.
Oh, okay.
Just remove it. Don't have a number there. In fact, remove everything from that list. Since you just put something in the first field and leave all the other fields blank, and then it will tell you how many yards or meters you need.
How do I go back to that?
Well, let me see. I have to look at my own website to see. So you go to click the sweaters link at the top, and then click edit on, if you haven't purchased your sweater yet.
No, I haven't.
You'll
So I just press
you'll
edit.
see the little box with your sweater, and it will have 2 buttons, and the yellow one says edit, The other one says purchase.
Yeah.
So you would click edit. And
Yeah.
that will take you to
Yeah. I'm sorry about the barking. She
that's
gets
quite all
jealous.
right. I made a mistake anyway. You don't want to click edit. You want to click purchase. Sorry. Click
Oh, go
purchase.
back. Please
Go to sweaters, and on the sweaters page, you see that little box, and it
Yeah.
see the button that says purchase. So
Yeah, I
click
did
purchase.
that.
Click purchase.
Yeah.
Then go down and you'll see a button that says change sizes.
Press that.
Click that. And
Okay.
then on that page, on the upper left, you'll see a button that says edit yarn.
Oh, cool.
So
So-
edit the yarn and remove all the fields except the brand name. The first field.
Okay.
Leave
So-
all the others blank.
Okay. Not even the weight?
Not the weight, no.
Oh, because this
This
is
is
the
like you
weight.
don't know what your skeins are.
Gotcha. And can I leave the fiber content?
The what?
Fiber.
Oh yeah, you can leave the fiber content, sure.
Okay, save yarn. And then I can just go back to sweaters.
And no, you click save yarn and that puts you on the page that says go to checkout at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Then go to checkout. And now you will see your schematic, and at the top it will say yardage estimate, required length, some number of yards or meters.
Wonderful. That's so much better. Okay.
You
Thank
see,
you
the
so much.
difference
I'm gonna-
is you told it how many meters your skein had, so it said, oh, I know how many yards that is, that needs, so I'm giving you how many skeins to buy.
Yeah, I'd rather know how many yards it is because I don't want, two skeins of 700 yards doesn't tell me really how much I'm missing.
I see.
I mean, I'm missing 80 some yards, not a skein. So
Oh, I see.
if I can find, somebody selling a partial skein on Ravelry, I'll get that.
I see. So you were only 87 yards off, huh?
Right.
Wow. You're right.
That's why I'm going to spend $50 on another skein. And I'm sorry, my dog was going crazy. So I'm going to mute myself again.
That's all right. Thank you, Demetria.
Thank you.
Well, it's been an hour now, and we like to hold this to an hour so everybody doesn't feel like they're going to be held here all day.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does, and I just love meeting with you all. So thank you all for
Okay.
coming.
So next week I show you the next project. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Bye.
I'm going to
Bye.
take a
Thank
good look
you.
at that pattern, and I'll make sure that it's as correct as I can make it. All right.
I go to make only one now.
And there will be an update soon after I get home, probably on Monday, in which I will fix the part that needs to be removed, and I will make sure that it works and the numbers are right.
Okay.
Okay.
Frank, thank you for
Bye-bye.
taking time out of your
Bye.
vacation to
Bye.
meet with us.
Oh, it's very important to me. I'm really happy to do this. It's really a joy to spend time with you all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
The whole thing is
Thanks, Frank.
so
We'll see you
gratifying
next
to me.
week.
I
Bye.
appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.